The Florida housing market has been on a ride, especially over the last few years. And if you're somebody that, say, bought in 2020, 21, 22 even, you've already seen massive appreciation in terms of home value. But now we're starting to see cracks in the market. Let's look at some of the headlines. Florida housing market echoes Great Recession. That sounds pretty terrible, huh? So you're reading this and you're like, okay, well, the Florida housing market is on a free fall. Here's another one. Florida residents struggling to sell their homes, not getting any showings. Yes, the Florida housing market has slowed down. Overall, median price down slightly. It's now at $380,000. That is a minus 2.3% change versus same time last year. Now that's not, in my opinion, a crash yet. Most of you are probably going to be interested in single family homes. So what is the median price right now for single family homes? It is, as of March 2025, $412,000, which is a change of minus 2%. So it's gone slightly down. But if you're comparing the median price today to just say a few years ago, let's just take March 2020, the median price back then for a single family home in Florida was $275K. So in essence, that's a massive increase in just a few years. But now I do want to remind everybody that when it comes to the US median price, it's actually just slightly above that. The median US price in March for a single family home is $404,000. And so the reality is that the prices have come up almost everywhere in the United States since the COVID years. So then let's look at condos and townhomes. Median price is $315K, and that is minus 4.5% down. So it's slightly higher than with single family homes, and there are some real reasons for it. Because real estate is very much of a local matter, wherever you're looking to shop, or maybe you're looking to sell, you have to understand what the local market is, not just in Florida. And that is especially true here in Florida because we have such different landscapes. You could be coastal, you could be more inward, you could be in a flood zone, not flood zone, new development, non-new development. So make sure you always get local data. But let's look at City of Miami. This is just for a point of comparison, single family homes. The median price as of March of this year was $788K, and that is actually a minus 1.4% change versus same time last year. But here's the kicker. So in a balanced market, you would want to have anywhere from 5 to 6 months of supply inventory. Right now, the City of Miami is showing 8.2 months of supply. And this is actually a plus 37% increase from the same time last year. If it keeps going up, those prices are going to continue to come down. Let's look at condos and townhomes. The median price right now is $615,000, which is a minus 2.6% price decrease, so it's slightly higher. This is most likely because of the Surfside bill, and I'm going to get into that shortly. Months of supply, look at this, it's 16 months of supply, which is 70% over last year. That's insane. Those prices are going to come down, and possibly they may crash. So keep an eye on this one. There are 4 major forces that are reshaping the Florida housing market that you need to be aware of. First, there's a real condo crisis, decline in migration, homeowners insurance crisis, and a massive new construction wave in many different areas in Florida, putting pressure or easing existing home sales. During COVID, a lot of people from the north, from the west, ended up moving down here, not just because of tax reasons, not just because they wanted to be in a warm climate. They also wanted to live somewhere where the real estate prices were cheaper. Plus, with remote work, that was much easier to get done. And so we had a massive influx in the years 2021, 2022, and 2023. That migration is going to slow down. It's certainly still going to be positive when it comes to the net effect. There's still more people going to be moving in versus leaving, but the projected growth from 2.5%, which is what it was right around COVID era, is going to be now at 1.37%. So that's going to alleviate some of the demand for housing that we had just a few years ago. But Florida is still one of the top 5 places that out-of-staters are going to move to. And where are these people coming from? Well, let's look at this chart here from floridachamber.com. Majority of them are coming from New York, and not surprising. I work with a lot of New Yorkers. Many of them are coming here because of tax reasons, not just the savings, but also real estate taxes are much more affordable for them here than in New York. Some of them are coming for political reasons, and Some of them just want to be somewhere that is warmer, and when it comes to home prices, more affordable, especially coming from the city that is New York City. Same story here, New Jersey, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and then California. I had somebody in my video say, Katrin, why do you always keep saying people from New York, from California, from New Jersey, from Pennsylvania are moving to Florida? Well, here it is. It's where they're moving from. It's where they're going to continue to move from into Florida. The condo market in Florida is going through a crisis. The overall median price right now for condos isn't really reflecting that. But once you get into places such as Sarasota, for example, the condo median price is down by over 30%. Certainly other pockets in Florida where that's the case as well. And I do believe that we're going to see more downward pressure on the median price for Florida condos just in general. But why is this all happening? It all comes back down to the Surfside bill, which is also known as the SB 4D, which was passed just a few years ago because of the Surfside building that collapsed in Miami and 98 people died. And so they passed the Surfside bill in order to ensure that something like this never happens again. The Surfside bill, what it does is it really is posing two different mandates. One is for a milestone inspection that needs to happen for condos and co-ops. There are 3 stories and higher. So not 2, not 1, 3 stories and higher, and that are reaching either the age of 30 if they're further removed from the coast, or 25 years old. They have to go through a milestone inspection where they inspect the integrity of the buildings, such as the load-bearing system, the roof, the windows, etc. And the second part of the mandate is that the condo or co-op, they have to have a reserve that's well funded to make any future repair. In the past, it was very easy for a condo association to not pass necessary assessments to bring up the reserves. Now they have to do it based on the milestone inspection, the reserve study. So there are many condos now that are in a situation where they just don't have enough money in the reserves and they didn't do a good job taking care of the building. Well, now they have no choice but to pass massive amounts of assessments and increasing condo fees. And some of the assessment fees could be literally $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, $150,000. Not all condos. And so if you're somebody that's interested in a condo, do your homework. See if it falls within the Surfside bill. First of all, it has to be 3 stories and higher. Make sure you get the milestone inspection and the reserve study before you even put an offer in. Some condos may not see much of an assessment fee coming through at all because perhaps they were just really well managed. Then there's also the homeowners insurance crisis. Like the condo crisis isn't good enough. Well, with homeowners insurance, I'm actually somebody that is also personally affected by this. My insurance prices just a few years ago were $1,500, maybe $2,000, and now I'm paying close to $10,000. But I'm also in an older home, and I'll get to that in a second. One of the reasons why we're having homeowners insurance cost challenges. Just last year we had 2 hurricanes and tropical storm Debbie, and then 2 years prior to that it was Ian. So there was just a lot of damage done in Florida that now we all kind of have to pay into because insurance companies are having to pay out. But also there was fraud happening, and so all of this kind of jumbled together is making the Florida market, homeowners insurance market, probably the most expensive in the United States. Here is an interesting stat. So as of 2024, and this is from greatflorida.com, the average cost of homeowners insurance in Florida is projected to be approximately almost $12,000. I guess I'm not paying all that much, reflecting a 7% increase from the previous year. Now you go to some other states, the average is easy around $2,000 to $3,000. Buyers are cost conscious, and many of them are just not willing to pay that type of homeowners insurance. But I also believe there's somewhat of a miscommunication happening here. It's not going to be $12,000 across the board. If you purchase a new construction home, let's just say it's $1 million or less, you will get homeowners insurance for far less than $12,000. In some of my buyers' cases, they're paying no more than, say, $2,500. So I believe that the insurance companies and news channels should do a much better job in describing where it's going to be more expensive and how you can minimize the risk of having to deal with high homeowners insurance costs. Climate risk is certainly making a portion of the population somewhat uneasy, especially living more coastal in Florida. It's giving them concern because they're feeling that hurricanes, flooding is going to get far worse. And so that portion of the population is looking to maybe not even move to Florida anymore, or if they are, they're not going to live coastal. And so I believe there's going to be essentially three types of buyers. The ones that just don't really believe that there's any climate risk whatsoever. Then you have buyers that do believe that there is risk, but they still want to live in Florida, and so they may just not want to be coastal. And then you have those buyers that believe in climate change. They may stay away from Florida altogether. That is going to put some negative pressure on demand, and with that, possibly prices. And lastly, there's new construction that we need to talk about, because they're going to affect the resale value of older homes. Where I live in Sarasota, there's Lakewood Ranch, Welland Park, lots of new construction community. Because resale homes are now competing with new construction homes, that is actually putting pressure on the value of resale. You're probably asking, well, what does this all mean for me? How will this change the median price? Ultimately, I think right now, time will tell, because there's just so much uncertainty when it comes to tariffs, the stock market, possibly getting into a recession. What will happen to mortgage interest rate? We don't even know what the effects of the administration's tactics are right now, because we don't have that data. Once we have that data, whether it's positive or negative, then I believe you're going to be in a much better position. If tariffs do stick around and they impact construction material such as lumber or aluminum, then new construction homes, the prices are going to increase. That could actually help resale value to go up as well, right? It'll push that up. But if the stock market crashes, well, your ultra luxury buyer, they're going to be very tied to their stock portfolio. That could potentially put pressure on the luxury market. And then mortgage interest rate, how's that going to go? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? And so my recommendation to you is, if you're in no rush to purchase right now or to sell right now, maybe you haven't even made up your mind, then time is going to be your friend. Wait until we have more data coming in that indicates where the economy is headed. Because right now, more consumers are seeing that we're on the wrong track when it comes to the economy. But if that flips, if consumer confidence goes up, then that is a positive move for the housing market. Here's one analyst from the National Association of Realtors. Her name is Nadia Evangelo. I hope I said her name correctly. But she's the senior economist and director of real estate research. And she recently told Newsweek that she does not see home prices declining in Florida, but she does expect a slowdown in price growth to more sustainable levels. I am not sure I completely agree with her, because we're already seeing some of those numbers go in the negative. And so for now, it's very possible that the median price will trend downwards, not just on the condo market side, but also single family homes. You guys, thank you so much for watching today. I always appreciate it, and take care.